"Sir, this is business class. You need to move to the back," the flight attendant said, her voice curt and unbothered, as she blocked the aisle with one arm. In front of her stood an elderly man, hunched slightly, wearing a worn navy blazer decorated with faded military ribbons, polished pins, and a frayed name tag that read, "Lieutenant, Column W. Harland, retired." In his trembling hand, he held a first-class boarding pass, the edges soft from years of use and reverence. It had belonged to his late wife once. "I believe there's a mistake," the old man replied politely. "I'm seat 2A. Another attendant leaned in, louder and less patient. "Coach is in the back, sir. You're holding up boarding." The passengers in nearby rows began whispering. A man in business attire scoffed. "Probably wandered up here by accident," he muttered just loud enough for others to hear. "Looks like someone from a history book." A few people chuckled under their breath. One woman across the aisle covered her mouth in shock, unsure whether to speak up or stay silent. The old man looked down at his ticket, blinking behind his glasses. "I used my miles for this," he murmured, almost to himself. "I just wanted a quiet flight." "You'll have to return to economy," the attendant insisted. "These seats are for priority guests only." With his dignity quietly dissolving, the veteran gave a nod and turned to shuffle back toward the coach cabin. But before he could take a single step, the cockpit door swung open. The pilot stepped out, young, confident, dressed in navy and gold trim. He took one look at the man being turned away and stopped in his tracks, his eyes locked on the name tag. Then the medals. "Colonel Harland?" the pilot asked, stunned. The old man looked up, surprised. "That's me, son." "Though I haven't gone by that in a long while." The pilot's expression changed, something reverent, like awe and shame all at once. "Sir, I read about your missions during training, Operation Firelight, 1968. You flew with the 509th. You saved an entire carrier squadron." The veteran gave a tired smile. "Most of them. Lost good men, too." The pilot turned to the attendants, now frozen and visibly nervous. "Who asked this man to move?" They both hesitated. We thought he was confused." "You thought wrong," the captain said firmly. "This man is a decorated combat pilot. He's a legend in this uniform. He earned his seat more than any of us ever will." The passengers fell silent. Those who had laughed now looked down. Some began to stand. The man in the business suit sat rigid, face blank. The pilot turned to the veteran and extended his arm. "Colonel, it would be my honor to escort you to 2A. The old man hesitated, then nodded with grace. Together, they walked back up the aisle, slow but proud. And as they passed each row, people rose, quietly, respectfully, like a forgotten truth had been restored. At 2A, the captain helped him into his seat, then knelt beside him and whispered, "You flew so I could wear this uniform today. Thank you for every mile." The colonel looked out the window, eyes glassy. "I thought people had forgotten." "Not all of us," the pilot replied. As he returned to the cockpit, the cabin was changed. The same silence that once felt uncomfortable now felt sacred. The attendants returned, hands trembling as they offered water and blankets, their tone softened with guilt and apology. But the old man didn't need their pity. He had already been restored, not by a seat, but by something far rarer. Recognition. Because sometimes heroes board quietly, unnoticed, carrying decades of sacrifice on their shoulders. They don't demand praise. They don't ask for privilege. They only hope to be remembered. And that day, in row 2A, an entire cabin remembered. Because honor doesn't need to shout. It just needs to stand up, even from the cockpit. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.